Folks, today we're going to be doing another one of my photoshopping eyeshadow palettes videos. I have gathered 4 palettes that we're going to be looking at today. I brought them into Photoshop. I brought in some inspiration photos, and we're going to be messing around with them. We're going to be editing them and making them a little bit more fun, a little bit more exciting, a little bit more, you know, true to the theme, if you will, because one of my biggest pet peeves is when a brand, specifically ColourPop, likes to come out with things that are like supposedly themed, and then they just like don't follow the theme. Also, I'm wearing my own merch, my own old merch, and wearing a dark lipstick that's a little bit, I don't know, it's an old MAC lipstick. It's Rebel. I haven't worn this in a long time, and I felt like, I don't know, feeling like a little, I got some like warm tone shadows on the eyes and then like a purple lip. You know, it's a vibe. It's fall. What up? So let's get going, shall we? We are starting off with the Hocus Pocus palette, the 2nd edition of ColourPop's attempt to make a Hocus Pocus palette. So I thought I would use my Hocus Pocus expertise and really just fuck around with this. I will say the number of Disney collabs that's happening right now is, it's a lot. This one, the Marvel Eternals one with Urban Decay. I think there's another ColourPop one, and then there's like Sigma and Cinderella, right? Sigma and Cinderella. That one actually doesn't look terrible. I'm not interested in seeing the Cinderella movie that's coming out because it's a musical. Ew. So let's just get going. So first things first, I went and this one color in the bottom right corner, the fact that it's called Fur Black is Black, and the color isn't black, why? That's, what? What's the point of that? That's so stupid. So I made it black, because if you're gonna call a color Fur Black is Black, as in Thackeray Binks, the cat, make the color black, okay? So this one on the top left, rather than it being like a champagne shade, I made it like a light lilac to kind of go with Sarah's purple outfit. Yeah, so I made this one a little bit darker too, so I took the burn tool and made it a little bit deeper so it wasn't quite as like baby pink, because I do love that color, but I wanted it to be a little bit richer. And then what did I do next? This one, I believe I moved around. So I moved the colors around as well as adjusting the actual tones of the shades. I moved things around quite a bit. And then I also grabbed a picture of Billy Butcherson for more inspiration. I didn't actually use any colors from that, but I wanted to make this gold on the far left into a kind of a chartreuse color, because green. It needs to be more green. The greens in here were kind of sad. So I wanted to make this, instead of being gold, which really doesn't make sense, like gold in Hocus Pocus, I don't. So I made it chartreuse. So I'm just adjusting the tones here. Oh, this orange shade, this kind of darker, like red ochre type shade, I'm making it richer, brighter to go along with Winifred's hair, because Winnie has the most vibrant of red hair. This green shade that I moved a little bit, I moved over for now, I'm going to make it this kind of rich, more emerald shade, because I feel like the teal in here doesn't really fit very well, because like Winnie's dress is like a really rich, kind of luxurious looking dark emerald tone, not this like, I don't know, teal that ColourPop puts in like every other palette. So I'm messing around with the color balance tool for the shadows and the midtones and the highlights here. I'm actually using Photoshop terms this time. Who am I? And then I also make this darker as well. So I'm using the level tool for that, making it deeper, just richening? Is that a word? I don't know. It's late. This one I made darker like a charcoal, because there's, I mean, Billy's dead. Like, you got ghosts and zombies and stuff in this movie. Like, I wanted to add like a gray in there as like a good contrast to the bright tones in there. I am going to mess with this purple. And this one, I did kind of a similar thing as I did with the green, where I darkened it up, I deepened it up, I changed the tone slightly, but I feel like this purple was probably one of the best shades in the palette. It just wasn't nearly as like bright as I would prefer. Ooh, this one I actually made into a duochrome. So I brought my gradient tool in to give a fun duochrome tone. So I grabbed some like Halloween-y tones, some like orange and purple. I thought that would be kind of cool. I don't know how well that would work. Or no, green and orange, that's what it was. I was like, how would this work? Green and orange. That could be kind of cool, right? This one I actually made into a bright, bright red to match both Winnie's lipstick as well as Danny's lipstick. Because Danny, Max's little sister, played by Thora Birch, wears like the brightest red lipstick for a kid, which was kind of funny. I was like, why is her, like, she's wearing the brightest fucking lipstick for like a 12-year-old. And I messed around with the tone for a bit here, thinking I was maybe going to do something darker, but I was just like, no, fuck it. We're just going to make it bright ass red, like a rich, bright Viva Glam type red. That's not quite brown enough for Viva Glam 1, but maybe like Viva Glam 3. And then with this purple, I made this one just like a bit richer and a bit darker again. I adjusted the tone on here because it was a little bit desaturated and a little bit too gray for my liking. I realize the color story is a little all over the place, but that's kind of how the movie is too. Like, I feel like I could get some fun looks out of this. I feel like the only color in here that's even a little bit out of left field is the red, but I feel like with the tones that it's around, like the black and the taupe and the tan, the red could look really cool. And the red I think would look really cool with the orange or with the purples. Maybe not so much the greens, otherwise it would look super Christmassy, but I like how it turned out. I think this is more fun than that. You know? I like it. I'd wear it. I love Hocus Pocus. Okay. Next, this is a tiny, one of the mini holiday palettes from Too Faced, and this was just kind of like a shit post of a palette. Like, this is a shit post of a palette, okay? It's a fruitcake themed palette for some reason. I don't know why Too Faced thought it was a good idea. Like, yeah, let's make a palette themed around, like, the food that everybody hates to get at the holidays. Like, I don't know anybody who truly really likes fruitcake. So I went and I grabbed a photo of a fruitcake because they're weird as hell looking. They're like, it's like a bread with like candied fruits in it. Why? I don't know. Like, what is that? I hate fruitcake. Why would anybody want a palette themed around that? So, I made this color. What one did I do this one? Did I do this one? This one. Yes. I made one of them red, one of them green, one of them orange, and then one of them kind of a gold yellow because those were all tones in the fruitcake. Literally, Too Faced just took a color story that they already have. They're like, what's another Christmas dessert that we haven't included in our repertoire yet? Fruitcake. Dude, why? If you're gonna do, the thing is, if you're gonna do like more dessert themed things for the holidays, try and pick desserts from like other places. Like, not just desserts that are popular here in the US. Like, I can think of so many, like, Scandinavian holiday treats that you could do. Like, oh my god. I mean, most of them are beige, but most of them are just, like, tan foods. I'm literally just grabbing tones from the fruitcake. I literally just Googled fruitcake and like, let's take the yellow, let's take the orange, like the green. I mean, this ends up looking like a Christmas palette, like very much a Christmassy palette. They just wanted to have a Christmas theme, but a boring palette to go with it. And I was like, if you're gonna go Christmas, like, go Christmas, Too Faced. Go all out for Christmas. This was not it. Not it indeed. Not it at all. And that's the Christmas palette. That's the fruitcake. Like, look at the difference between those two. How is that other palette fruitcake? I don't understand. Too Faced. Stop it. It's time to stop. Next. This was Anastasia's attempt at a holiday palette. And I don't even know what it's called. But, like, it's so boring. Like, what's the point? It's... How the mighty have fallen... What is the point? Like, it wasn't even bad enough for me to just, like, get mad about it. It was just so uninspiring to where I'm just like, I don't even have anything to do with this. Like, it's giving me Too Faced, it's giving me Sigma, it's giving me BH Cosmetics. Like, it's not giving me ABH. It's giving me BH. Hey, just uninspired. Completely uninspired. So boring. Now, last but not least, this fucking 90s thing, the Plush Palette from ColourPop. I had a handful of people tag me in this on Instagram, and I was like, oh, I hate this. Like, the palette itself is not terrible, but it's like, why, like, don't try and take a palette that you've come out with like 6 times already and say that it's like, get your 90s gear, kiddos. Like, no. Stop trying to market 90s nostalgia to people who were born in 2003. It's weird, because this isn't even accurate. So, if you're gonna have a 90s palette, you need to have an icy silvery blue. You cannot have a 90s palette unless you have an icy silvery blue. I literally looked up 90s makeup, and most of it was either that kind of icy silvery blue, either like Reese Witherspoon or Jennifer Lopez were wearing it, or you had like burgundy, like deep burgundy things with like black liner. And then like lip liner and brown lipstick and stuff. Honestly, I feel like more of the 90s makeup was based around eyebrows and lipstick, not eyeshadow. So this one I actually made into more of a taupe shade, less of a brown, because I felt like it was boring and I wanted to make it slightly more interesting. And then this shade is not nearly burgundy enough, so I'm making it darker, a bit richer. This one I made into a dark charcoal because I found a picture of what the fuck is her name? Pamela Anderson. I found a picture of Pamela Anderson with like a smoky eye, and I was like, that's that color. Smoky eyes, that was the other thing. Gray, smoky eyes. This color in the middle, this kind of shimmer, I'm keeping it the same because it's not terrible. And the more I worked on this, the more I realized that it didn't need to be a 12 pan palette. So I literally just made it smaller. Like, I made it into a 9 pan, because there were so many repeat shades and eyeshadow was so not a thing as much in the 90s. And it definitely wasn't something where you had like multiple blending shades. It was like you slapped one eyeshadow on your eye and you're good to go. Like, you did not have people doing multiple transition shades in the 90s. You had fucking silvery blue all over your eye, or brown all over your eye, or just eyeliner, and that was it. So I made this smaller because I was like, this is not accurate. Oh, I moved them around. That's what I'm doing. I'm like, what am I doing? So I'm moving the taupe over to the right, and then I'm going to move the charcoal gray down at the bottom over to the right, just so that the silver, the kind of taupe, and then the dark charcoal kind of line up with each other, and that way it just looks a little bit more cohesive, and the kind of warmer neutrals are all kind of on the left and the center. And I like how it turned out, honestly. Like, I feel like this is a better representation of the 90s. And I was alive during the 90s, during all of them. So, I would hope I know. My mom didn't really wear makeup, but I watched TV in the 90s. I like it. Like, I would wear this. I would buy that. The silvery blue could be kind of cool with other shades in there. There's only 3 shimmers, which I think is good for a 9 pan. I don't think you really need more than 3 or 4 shimmers for a 9 pan. And yeah, I like this. I would, this is fun. I like this palette. The one that ColourPop put out, not so much. It just was like, here, let's make a palette that we've made a bunch of times and then slap the 90s nostalgia on it and people will buy it. Don't do that. You know, like, at least BH, when they came out with their like 90s and 80s palettes, they were way more accurate to the time period. So those were all the palettes I wanted to mess around with tonight. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you like this little series that I'm doing on my channel. For today's song of the day, actually, I was listening to Biffy Clyro yesterday. Let's see, what's the song I was listening to? I'm gonna pick another Biffy Clyro song, I don't care. I've literally only been listening to Biffy Clyro, Sleigh Bells, and Eve. So, Animal Style from Biffy Clyro is your song of the day. What year did that come out? 6 years ago? 6 years ago. It's not 8 years ago. Not 8. Only 6. I hope you guys are having a good week. I hope you're having a good day. It is Friday, so congratulations. You made it to the end of the week. I hope you have a good weekend. If you are watching this on Saturday, I'm probably streaming on Twitch in the evening, but if you're watching it on Friday, tune in to me on Twitch tomorrow night. I'll be playing The Sims. I don't know what I'm gonna be doing in The Sims. Last week, we finished making all of, well, the main characters from Jujutsu Kaisen in Create a Sim, and I think I did a really good job. Not gonna lie. I think I managed to make Nanami, like, very accurate. Gojo was difficult because he's too pretty. If you want to catch more of me and want to follow me, please subscribe and then hit the bell notification to get notified when I upload new videos. All the links to my other social medias will be down in the description. My Instagram, my Twitter, and my Twitch are all Abbers07, except Twitch is Abbers without the 7. So check me out there. I am very close to getting 10,000 followers on Instagram so I can get the swipe up feature. I'm so excited. I want the swipe up feature so bad. So please follow me there for general shenanigans and aesthetic photos of food and random decorations. Pretty much. That's what I post on Instagram. So have a good weekend, y'all, and I will see you all next week. Bye!